Hello, everybody. Welcome to Porter's Place. Yes, things are all well here in Jacksonville, FLA. Our Jacksonville Jaguars are now 3-1 on the season. 3-1 for the first time since 2004. 3-1 for the first time or better since 2018. The Jags taking care of business out on the left coast yesterday, knocking off the San Francisco 49ers 26-21. And they also snapped a 5-game losing streak to the Niners, a team that had dominated them before yesterday. The Jags looking good in all phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams. Oh, we're tied for first place in the AFC South Division. I cannot contain myself. The first quarter of the season, the Jags have us all feeling real good. Let's take a look real quick if we can. I think we've got sound from Liam Cohen and company talking about Sunday's win.
Super impressed with our ability to stay the course. The complimentary football today showed up, obviously making plays in 3 phases, right? Defensively, was that 4 straight games with 3 turnovers? It was first time ever, correct, happening, right? I think that's the first time ever. Ran for 150 yards, no sacks. Had the punt return for a touchdown, kickoff return that set up points before the end of the half. That's making plays in 3 phases that really helped us win that game. And very proud of the way that these guys keep competing. It's not clean, but they play their tails off.
I mean, it's a great start for us. Like I've said the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's early in the year still, but the way we've won a couple of these games, and I think just in any game, there's going to be adversity and ups and downs, and just the way we've handled them has been awesome. The team's really coming together, getting behind each other. We're playing complementary football. When something happens, we really take advantage of the momentum swings. I think that was a big thing today, and we just play a full game. You don't know what the next play is going to hold. Just even if something bad happened the play before, just play the next play, keep looking forward, and I think this team's done a good job of that, but you got to keep doing it.
So let's take a look inside the numbers show with the Jaguars defense forced 4 turnovers Sunday. It's the 4th straight game the defense had at least 3 turnovers this season, a team record. Devin Lloyd had 2 interceptions in the game. He now has 3 on the season. Trevor Lawrence, 21 of 31, 174 yards and 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne carried the load on the ground, 124 yards, 1 TD on 19 carries. The Big Cats snapped their 5-game losing streak to San Fran. They're 3-1 or better for the first time since 2018. They're also tied for first place in the AFC South Division. I like reiterating those things. They've got the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending AFC champions, Monday night right here on ABC 25, the stations of First Coast News. Let's bring in my main man, my brother from another mother, James Coleman. Always got my back. Looking good in the big screen today. What's up, big game, James?
What's going on, brother?
James, let's start here. Before we even get into all the breaking down of the game and all of the analysis and all that kind of good stuff, could you just talk about how good it feels as a fan for our team to be 3-1? We've had so many terrible seasons.
I mean, since I've been in Jacksonville, I think we've averaged four wins this season, even with 2017 and 2022. So this feels great to be on a high, especially when you're on the better end of the close games. Like, normally we lose that game, but good teams find a way to win and bad teams find a way to lose. And luckily right now we're a good team.
James, before we came on, you were eating some type of fruit, so I know you're all hydrated. I know you're ready to go. Before we start the X's and O's stuff, we got to start where after the game ended. It was with Liam Cohen saying, "Keep my name out of your mouth." First, let you hear the sound from 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. This was him talking about the Jaguars, quote-unquote, legally stealing signs. Listen to what he had to say.
Minnesota, they've got a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous situation.
All right, you heard the coach there saying legally you're stealing signs. I've never known stealing to be legal. What we do know is that Liam Cohen, he didn't like it. He said, "Keep my name out of your mouth." You like that, James?
I love it. Legally stealing sounds like prepared. I mean, Ray Lewis would go out there and call out what you were going to do. It sounds like they were watching film and studying every aspect of the game. Maybe they should take note. But I love the fact that after you whoop their butt pretty good, you go over there and you confront him about things of him trying to besmirch your name. One of my favorite shows is The Blacklist. Raymond Reddington said, "You can talk about my business, but don't you ever try to attack my character." And I like Liam Cohen standing on business and showing them how we get down to the Bengals.
James, I'm going to say this. I love the fact that Liam Cohen went and confronted Robert Saleh. But I don't know if you ever seen Saleh up close and personal. That's a big dude. Now, if you're going to talk some trash and say it wasn't people that blocking him off, that was going to be a serious battle. I don't think that's the dude I want to run up on.
I mean, just because he looks like King Xerxes from 300 doesn't mean he's like that. He's got a lot of show muscles, but sometimes, the guy it's not the guy that's doing the bodybuilding that you got to be afraid of. It's the wily old vet or the guy who kind of knows how to strike first. And Liam seems to be a very smart guy, strategic, and again, he already bested them offensively in the chess match between the offense and the defense. So, I mean, I think he can take them. Plus, you got Camp, you got a whole gang of guys that's ready to go stand on business and represent the city in all facets of the game if necessary.
All right, James, the gentleman on your screen, I thought I had video of Liam Cohen, but that was Devin Lloyd. He had a terrific game on yesterday, 2 interceptions, 3 for the season. This defense has been sensational, but let's just focus on him for a second and how he's really been playing optimistic football.
Yeah, David Lloyd has been really good, especially in that contract year, looking to do some things to play good and being a leader. You got guys stepping up in every aspect of it. I mean, 2 interceptions for a linebacker, being in the proper spot. I wanted to complain a couple times about him not dropping back and being able to fill the routes. But when you got 2 interceptions, what are you going to say to a guy? Clearly, he's been doing something very, very good. And the weak spot in the zone is typically the middle. And that's where he was able to take advantage of the pressure that the defensive line was putting on Brock Purdy. It's really that front 7 has been very, very dynamic and playing off of each other this first quarter of the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And James, let's stay with Lloyd for a second. Just the defense as a whole. One of the things we keep hearing out of that locker room is how close this team is, how this unit is on the same page, how not only are they getting these takeaways, but this is something that they are doing, they're working on every day in practice. It kind of sounds like what you do in practice translates on to what you do on the field.
Yeah. Perfect practice. Perfect practice makes for perfect plays. I mean, you got to be able to go out there and do what you're supposed to do at a full speed and at a high level. That's part of being a professional. And again, these guys on the defensive side of the ball are really playing very, very well. And that's kudos to Camp for coming out there. Again, he's changed my mind considering what I saw in the preseason. He's coming out. These guys are actually being the part that's kind of lifting and propelling this team forward. I mean, they created a bunch of turnovers, 4 turnovers. Should have been a blowout, but it wasn't. But the thing is they kept restricting the San Francisco 49ers from scoring. And to quote my college coach, Bobby Bowden, defense, if the other team don't score, we win. And that's kind of exactly what they've been doing over on that side of the ball.
Absolutely, and they got to give mad props to Anthony Campanelli, who these guys have been raving about since training camp. I remember when I was talking to Andrew Wingard, he was saying, this is not just a yeller. Yeah, he's intense. Yeah, he gets in your face, but he also does a great job of teaching the scheme, making sure that people are in the right spot. James, have you encountered any coach in your time where they sound good, they said the right stuff, but when it came to X's and O's, they didn't have a clue?
Oh, man, yeah.
Don't call names, James.
I almost called somebody out all the way, but I'd rather stick with the positive. And Camp does a lot of things very similar to Mickey Andrews that I remember more vividly at Florida State. He's not only going to be fiery and passionate and something that you want to follow, he's going to follow up with it and make sure that you know that he cares. And people don't care what you know until they know you care. And I like that, especially with him being a young coach. He's able to garner the respect of his teammates, of his employees. But at the same time, those guys know that they're going into battle with a warrior coach. So kudos to him. And hopefully this continues to propel and move this team forward. Again, 18 seconds away from being 4-0, and a large part of this is due to how well the Jags defense has performed.
Yeah, Jaguars, 4 games of defense, 13 total turnovers, 4 consecutive games with at least 3. That's impressive. But a guy who had a big turnover in the fourth quarter yesterday was the former 49er, Eric Armstead. knocking that ball out of Brock Purdy's hand. The Jaguars recovered. He talked about returning home. Waiting for the sound on Eric.
Can't write a better script than that, to be honest. Just woke up today, didn't want to make it bigger than it was, and just live in the moment and, see what today had to bring. And it was a pretty special day, probably one I won't forget. Yeah, it was weird. I think I've been in this locker room one time for the Pac-12 championship when I was in college, but yeah, coming into the visitor locker room was a little weird for sure. And yeah, but it was an amazing experience. Obviously I got a lot of memories in this building, and I just made another one today.
James, let's keep it 100. Many were wondering what we were going to get from Eric Armstead because he spent most of the time on the sideline during training camp. They played him out of position last year. Now they have him back in position, and we're now beginning to see what a healthy and a guy playing in the right position, what he can mean for this defense.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing a great job sitting on the sideline and building the community. I love that. He was one of the finalists for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and we want that, but we brought you here to play football. So it's great to see him making an impact in the community and now making an impact in the games. When you look at what he's been able to do with the man with the two last names, Josh Hines Allen, got to put respect on that, and Trayvon Walker, being able to get that pressure off the edge and meeting this mountain of a man in Eric Armstead in the middle. It gives me a lot of views of Jacksonville. He's being more of a Calais Campbell type, but more in the interior of that defensive line.
James, I thought it was a big deal on yesterday that Eric was able to go back to the 49ers and able to make a big play in a clutch situation because we are hearing the rumors that this defense reminds people a lot of Jacksonville, getting the pressure on the quarterback. While they don't get as many sacks as Jacksonville was necessarily getting, they are getting pressure, and as a result, those guys in the secondary are getting some good opportunities.
What they got to realize is those first 4 games and a lot of the time of Jacksonville, it was the quarterbacks held the ball. They didn't try to make the bad throw. Now you got guys uncomfortable trying to throw the ball and getting strip sacks. So it worked both ways. When they were getting the pressure and they get the sacks, but then quarterbacks gave away. And I remember they had a couple of very big turnover games. So at the end of the day, you want to end the drive. A sack is cool. That's necessary. Putting pressure on the quarterback and having them throw errant throws is better because now the offense gets more opportunities to be able to go out there. Now, when the offense can actually turn all of those turnovers into points, then Jacksonville's going to be a very tough team to beat. They get a great opportunity on Monday to be able to come out and prove that they're one of the top 5 teams in the AFC when the Kansas City Chiefs come into town.
No doubt about it. Great segue there. We'll get to Monday Night Football, but let's talk about the Jaguars offense. Even in the loss to Cincinnati, James, the defense was doing its thing, forcing the turnovers, and then we gave the ball right back. They capitalized. And it will be interesting to see how good of a team this team can be once the offense can truly capitalize on the opportunities. But before we get into that, let's talk about the run game. Travis Etienne on yesterday carried the ball 19 times, 124 yards on 19 carries. He seems to have that burst that we saw from him from year one when he was able to put on the tail in black.
Oh, yeah, man. It's starting to look more like Clemson, Travis. And I've complained about that. I've talked about that, especially coming off of that first turnover when he went 50 yards to the house on the carry. I mean, you saw him hit the edge, reading very well, running tough. He's doing a very, very good job of being that number 1 back. It's showing that he can do the running part as well as we know what he can do in the passing game and when you get him the ball in space. Tootin and LeQuint are also doing very, very well and contributing to this team in numerous different ways. Five yards a carry was what they've been averaging. I think it was 6, I think, for Travis Etienne. But when you know you have that and you know you have the ability to be able to run and push the pile forward, you got to continue to lean on that a little bit more. I think at times Cohen gets a little pass happy when you know you have such a dynamic run game because a good defense and time of possession is going to win you most ball games.
You know, and I like the way that the Jaguars are able to change things up when they go from Travis Etienne to Bashal Tootin, a fast, powerful back. And I agree, James. We all knew from the beginning that not only did Liam establish a great running game down in Tampa, is doing the same thing as in Jacksonville, but it makes sense because we do know, in my opinion, that Trevor Lawrence needs that running game to take some of the load off of him.
Oh, yeah, it basically makes it even. If you can be balanced, then the defense has to be all looking for everything. When you get them over, when you know they're going to throw and they're going to be throw heavy, the defense can sit and pick on that. When they know you're going to run, they're going to load the box and they don't think you can throw it. But when you're 50-50, it opens up things like the play action, which helped us ice the game. You did play action bootleg, dumped off to the tight end, and you were able to get that first down and continue to move the chains and be able to end the game. So people have to fear Travis, which helps open up the passing game for Trevor.
We also saw yesterday, James, there were some times where Trevor Lawrence actually used his legs effectively.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. And we just got to teach him how to slide and teach him football IQ and understanding where you're at in the game. 15 seconds left in the game, a fifth-year quarterback has to know what he needs to do. Trying to run the clock out, know the other team doesn't have timeouts, you got to know to give yourself up really early so that the clock continues to run. But I like where he was able to get the first down on third and short. He was able to do some different things and manipulate and move the pocket. Trevor, again, is one of those guys where it's frustrating because you know what he's capable of and you know the talent that he possesses. You just also know he has never scratched the surface of what he could be in this National Football League.
And that's what has to excite you about Trevor Lawrence, the fact that he still has not scratched the surface. Let's listen to Trevor Lawrence talking about the run game.
Yeah, I think we're tough. I do believe that. I think we're a tough team. That's not an easy team to run the football on. And, we played our tails off. I thought we were very balanced in the first half in a lot of ways on offense. Missed some throws in the second half and had a couple, penalties deflate us. But, no sacks, running the football that way. Very proud of those guys in terms of every time we compete, I think we have a chance. Through 4 weeks, I think we have a chance. There's not a time in a game where you're like, man, God, this is getting away from us. Or, you don't think, even when negative things start to occur and we stalled on offense in ways, the defense makes a play. Boom, then the punt return for a touchdown. It's like these guys keep having each other's backs, and I think that's what's pretty cool after 4 weeks.
And that was the coach, not Trevor Lawrence, talking about how this team, when one area may be slacking, another part of the team picks them up. And that's a good sign, James.
Yeah, there's three phases of football: offense, defense, and special teams. If you can win 2 of the 3, you're going to win. You're going to win most of your ball games. Jag special teams, you got scores. We had to miss field goal, but we'll get Cam back on track with that. But they did enough with Parker Washington's punt return and Basil Tootin's big kickoff return after the San Francisco 49ers put up points, so that you can end the first half with some points. Add that to your defense, getting on those turnovers, it can help propel the offense. And as long as you try to win that turnover battle, life is good.
And speaking of Parker Washington, you got to like this dude. Each and every opportunity that he's able to get, he's capitalized on it. Once again, another guy who we saw play very well during training camp. It is now translated to the regular season. And whether you plug him in at receiver, kick return, punt return, if you give him a lane, he's going to take it 87 yards to the house on Sunday.
Yeah, and I love it. Again, he's earning the fan base. He's earning his position. To quote one of my good friends, Kobe Wright, you got to win your reps, and that's what Parker Washington goes out there every day, and he wins his reps, and I like that about him. He also goes out there. He's not afraid to try to get the infirmary ball from Trevor Lawrence. He's a guy that's just that rugged, rough player that we need, that can do all the things that are necessary. And he's a good ball player.
James, infirmary ball, tell people what you, I know what you mean. Explain what you mean when you say he's still catching Trevor Lawrence's infirmary balls.
Hey, man, when you go across that middle, man, it's dangerous. We used to call medic when a guy got hit pretty hard. But it's just the infirmary is where the sick go when you get that concussion. And, man, I get it. Everybody wants to put blame. It's enough blame to go around. But, man, I'm going to tell you this. As a guy who's been hit going across the middle, those hits do not tickle. And Parker Washington is one of those guys that don't mind going across there and acting like it does tickle.
All right, let's hear from the Jaguars talking about how the special teams, really all three phases of the game, is clicking.
It's huge. I mean, special teams made a bunch of big plays today. Some great kick returns, some great punts. I mean, obviously the punt return for a touchdown was huge. There's a lot of plays special teams made. It was just a full effort game by everyone, and that obviously get some points on the board, give us a little bit of a cushion, and then our defense again, just with the takeaways and the big stops, and then us just having to go and get a first down and finish the game out. So it was a complete game for us. I think offensively, obviously, there's a lot more out there that we can do, and that's the great thing about it is finding ways to win, and we still feel like we can grow a lot as an offense. So, like you said, the punt return and defense and special teams, did a great job today.
So again, James, as you said throughout the show today, special teams, defense, offense, all clicking. We got this Monday night game coming up, not this week, but October 6th against the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that has now won back-to-back games. And this past weekend against the Baltimore Ravens, they looked as if they found their mojo because they looked good against the Ravens offensively.
I mean, they did. The Ravens' defense has been kind of struggling this year. They've been essentially food for everybody. So, but the Chiefs haven't been winning like they used to. Patrick Mahomes is trying to get used to these new weapons. He doesn't have them outside of Travis Kelce. But when I think about what the Jags have on their plate, if the Jags are able to go in and beat one of the tops of the AFC, a perennial Super Bowl AFC champion powerhouse in Kansas City, this kind of cements them as one of the better teams in the National Football League, let alone the AFC. And they had a chance in 2022. They have a chance now in the regular season to be able to make things happen live on Monday night in prime time and making everybody fear them.
James, I would love to see our Jaguars in front of a national television audience on Monday, prime time game. Come out, put it all together, even the offense, because this city's already jacked up about this team being 3-1. And there's no better way to prove that you are the real deal than in front of a national audience.
I mean, if you want more national games, you want respect, this is how you get it. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be raucous. Everybody likes playing under the Knights, whether it's I-9 football, middle school, 6U, all the way up to 37U. Everybody likes playing under the Knights and on the big stage, nothing bigger than Monday Night Football.
You're excited, James? We hadn't had a primetime show on Monday night in a while. You fired up about it?
Man, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait to be up there. I'm getting tailgate invites. I'm taking off. I'm not going to coach that day. I am prepared to go out here and help compensate and help do our part, Chris, to lead the Jags to victory.
James, I'll wrap it up with this. If anyone had told you that we'd be 3-1 after the first 4 games of the season, you would have said what?
I would have said you should have been listening to me and Chris Porter when I told them that the Jags were going to win the AFC South.
You did?
I mean, it's there.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying everything that they want is there. As critical as I am, this team rises and falls based on Trevor Lawrence's arm, and I'm a little bit more confident in it than what people think. I believe that they're going to get better toward the end of the season, and I believe in Leon Cohen and James Gladstone as a coach and GM.
James Coleman, one of the finest analysts in the business. My brother from another mother. You'll see him again on Sunday night, 11:30 on Sports Final. You'll also see him in prime time when the Jaguars take on the Kansas City Chiefs here in the 904. It's going to be G-O-O-D good. James, get to practice. Thank you so much, man. I love you.
All right.
So again, the Jaguars 3-1 overall. They're tied for first place in the AFC South Division. Let James go. There you go. Put the Porter's place back in that T3. Come on, my friend. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. We'll see you next week.